Our motoring tip of the week concerns fuel pumps, and boy have they changed over the decades. If you remember cars mid-80s and older, those cars typically had a mechanical fuel pump on the engine delivering fuel at very low pressure to a carburetor. When we went to fuel injection, we went to electric fuel pumps predominantly in the tank, delivering fuel from the tank all the way up to the injectors on the engine at much higher pressures. 35 to 40 psi wasn't uncommon, and lots of cars had 60 psi or more of fuel pressure produced entirely by that electric pump in the tank. Now, on a vehicle with direct fuel injection like this new Kia Sorento, and many manufacturers are going this way, we get 10% better power and fuel economy with direct injection. And because with direct injection, we're injecting fuel directly, as the name implies, into the combustion chamber. Because of the combustion chamber pressures, we need fuel pressure to be much higher. Now, these vehicles typically run in excess of 2,000 psi of fuel pressure. We can't produce that with electric pump. So a vehicle like this has an electric pump in the tank to bring the fuel from the tank up to the engine, but a mechanical pump right here driven off the camshaft, producing typically over 2,000 psi of fuel pressure for the direct injection system. Now, when you've got a fuel pump producing that kind of pressure up in the range of 2,000 psi, it's going to produce a bit of noise as well. So you'll usually find a foam insulator like this one that dampens the noise that these pumps can produce. The advantages of direct fuel injection are huge though. 10% better fuel economy and power, and much lower emissions all the way through the range, especially during that critical area of engine warm-up. These engines have a huge advantage. Now, like so many other things, we want to make sure that our engine lubrication is really up to snuff. Good quality oil change regularly, because that pump is driven off a lobe on the camshaft, so we don't want to have any wear taking place there. We want to make sure we're using a really high quality fuel so we don't get any deposits or carbon in the engine as well. That's your motoring tip of the week.